Hey everyone, it's Gary here from SocrLabs, and today I want to take you on a quick video tour of the facility. So I'm standing out front now, and let's take a walk through and I'll show you what we've done, because in the last couple weeks we've done a big expansion, expanding the amount of space we're using in the facility, and we have added some really cool toys. And there's Messi. I won't say he's a sponsor, but you know, maybe. Anyhow, to start with, when you get here, you'll have access to the Parents Lounge, where we have Wi-Fi, computers, workspace, printers. We've got some couches to kick back. You can charge your iPhone if you need to, power up your laptop, or you can just sit back and watch some TV and have some coffee or water, bottled water, whatever you want. But let's go out and take a look at what kind of new toys we have here and what we do to help make better soccer players. So like I said, we do have bottled water. You don't have to bring any water here. All you have to do is bring some flat shoes. We don't use cleats. You see, we do a lot of work on the rubber space. And what we've done recently, you can tell by the walls where they're painted and where they are not painted, where the last facility was. When we opened up, we started a phase 1 knowing we were going to go to a phase 2 and a phase 3, which we've now completed. So phase 3 was the Ring of Fire. Phase 2 was to add more space because we do a lot of biomechanics, a lot of speed work, a lot of reaction work out here. And that's actually a big thing, because with the biomechanics, if we get those right, we then take that into the turf, and that makes the turf work better. And then anything we do on the biomechanics into the turf takes that soccer player and puts them in a better position when they're all practicing, when they're in the games. All those things will build upon themselves, so when they are at practice, they're practicing better because they're doing things the right way. Now, one of the things that we do at SocrLabs is we really focus on injury prevention. So for example, we could have bought just standard jump boxes that you've seen these before. Kids jump on them, but eventually they get tired and they miss, and their shins come down and they get injured. Well, not with our boxes, because they're made out of foam. So when they come down and hit them, at least now they're just landing on foam. They might miss their jump, but they're not getting injured. And then we have the strap bars, so they can hook up and do the strength training. But we do it all with resistance bands and straps. And this is another cool thing we have, are these sand bells. So I'll take a 20-pound sand bell. Now, what would happen with a normal kettlebell, if I put this thing and dropped it on my foot, that would hurt. But with sand bells, they don't get injured. And that's a real important thing here at SocrLabs. We want to make kids faster, stronger, better. We don't want them to get injured, which is the opposite of making them faster, stronger, better. So again, everything we have here, all the strength is based on either body weight, sand bells, straps, resistance bands, and all the things that will be very effective, but also be very difficult to get injured by using. Okay. Now, this is one of our high-tech pieces of equipment. It doesn't seem like it's very high-tech because you probably have seen other CAT systems out there where they've got bands and straps, and we have them too. In fact, we have the CAT system hanging up over there. But there is a very important part that those are missing. And the thing is, as I take this strap and I move 5, 10, 15, 20 yards away, this resistance is constant, okay? And that is natural, and then the body responds to it. The CAT system gets progressive. The further away you get, the more resistance the kid feels, or the athlete feels. That's not natural. Now, the other part is when they're doing vertical work, and they're doing squats and they're doing squat jumps. If you notice, as I pull on this, again, it's the same thing. It's constant tension, which just like gravity is a constant, this is a constant. But most importantly, you see how it retracts. So when the person goes down for their squat, they're under constant tension. When they come up, they're under constant tension. And when they jump, they don't get that sudden jerk of progressive tension. So this Vertimax system, while it might look like a standard CAT system, is light years ahead of it. It's much more effective. It is a much better training tool. More expensive, of course, but it works, so we've invested into it. Anyhow, let's take a look at what we're doing in the turf, because this is another important thing. One of the things we don't do here is we spend no time scrimmaging. Zero. It's not what our mission is. Our mission is to work on technique, to take the biomechanics that are coming from the rubber area, bring them into the turf area, and then work on the touch, the technique, the reaction time. And when you look at the way other people do it, they will put cones out and they'll have them go left, right, cut here, do this, jump that. And those will work. I mean, there's no doubt that helps. But that's all static. The people know they have to go left, then right, then jump, then backwards, or whatever the case might be. And that's not the way it works in real world. In the real world, the defenders move dynamically. The offensive players move dynamically. The ball moves dynamically. So you have to train the neural pathways to react and respond to a dynamic stimuli. So what we do is we have the FitLight system. And we combine this. You can put this on the ground. You can do it with hands. You can do it with impact. You can do it with motion. You can do it with feet. You can put it on walls. You can put it on poles. You can do all sorts of things with it. But the key is it creates dynamic stimuli. So the kids have to do things based on a random action, which is a lot more beneficial for their training than doing things on a static basis. Again, everything helps. Everything works. This just works better because it's dynamic and it's random. It's the real world brought to life. Inside the turf, we do a lot of different things. We do things with bounce backs. We do things with finishing. We have our slalom poles. We have cones. We set up obstacle courses. We do combination drills. Typically, we will make sure that, like for example, in this drill, there would be a person right there because we like to work in teams. So we would have one person going after the lights, coming back, grabbing the ball, kicking it, passing it to that person, receiving it, hitting it off the bounce backs, settling the ball, going back and having to get another random light, okay? It's a very dynamic way of doing things. It's random. It's more real world. We work a lot of passing in because we find a lot of the kids still are, frankly, they're terrible at passing. The accuracy of the passes jumps dramatically because we put them in a controlled environment versus the type of passing they do out on the field. Out on the field, it's very difficult to see how bad the passes are. But when you get them in here and they have to pass 10-yard passes, 5-yard passes, and they can't connect 5 in a row when they first get here, it's very obvious they need the work. So again, we make it dynamic, we get them tired, we make them do a lot of passes, and that repetition, along with the fatigue, along with the dynamic reactive nature of what we do, makes them much better passers very quickly. So let's come on back out here. Now we have a nice cardio center. We have high-end treadmills. We have these things here that are called lateral trainers. And you probably have seen, well, if you go to our website, you can see kids actually working out on these. But the key is that they work in a lateral motion, just like soccer players are always cutting laterally. They run forward, they run backwards, but a big part is lateral. These are the only machines that will give you this type of motion. We have them. We bought them specifically for that reason. Bikes, pretty standard. But we never have the kids come here and just get on these machines for a half hour and sweat. That's not our mission. We're not trying to just do the cardio. We do it for a specific purpose, for dynamic warm-ups, for keeping them active in between different drills, and a little bit of cardio, but we're really concerned most about speed and reaction. So cardio is important, but it's not our primary mission. We have the equipment, we use it, we do specific things with it. But again, if you look at how we've dedicated the space, the type of equipment we've purchased, it's all about speed, reaction, dynamic reaction. And again, here, we purchased this, what we call our ring of fire, because A, it looks like a fire pit, and B, they're under a lot of heat when they're in the middle of it, and you got all these lights firing. And this thing, I'll tell you, is so much fun. You cannot stop people from using this thing. That's the other thing with the fit light. People just want to keep doing it. If you tell these kids to run suicides or shuttles, they don't want to do it. But we have the same basic thing going on when they're running from one side of the turf to the other 15, 20 times, kicking the ball, coming off the bounce back, sprinting back to the light to hit it. And at the end, all they say is, "What's my time? Oh, can I do it again?" That's not something you ever get kids asking for. You don't get kids asking for another round of shuttles, but here you do. And it's the same thing now with the Ring of Fire. In fact, we had it up only for 2 days now. And after the first day, some kids came back the second day, and one of the dads told me that he wasn't sure his son slept at all. He said he was so excited to come back and get back in the Ring of Fire. For him, it was like Christmas. He was just so excited to get back in here because it has competition, it has the lights, we have different games programmed into this thing. There's all kinds of different activities that you can do. So this thing is unbelievable for getting repetition, for getting touches, for getting passes, for accuracy, because you get rewarded for accuracy, you get penalized for inaccuracy. Now, I'll come back to this in a second, but I don't want to neglect some of the more traditional things because these are important. Now, this is one more thing that is fairly non-traditional, though, is our jump mat. And what this does is scientifically, quantitatively, we'll measure reaction time, vertical leap, the ratio of ground time versus air time. And that's important to us because we do things, not just to do them, but with a specific purpose of getting faster, quicker, better. And we want to measure it. We want to prove to you that it's not just our opinion. It's not just your opinion. It's not that you have to go, well, maybe he's better, maybe she's faster, I don't know. We want to prove it to you statistically, and that's what all these tools will also do. We can show that they have a better vertical, they have better reaction time. We can show that they can get through these drills faster because the computer's keeping track of it. But again, there's some things that we combine, some things that are good on their own. Steps. We love Bosu ball instability type of activity. You see, we have the instability pads. We have some small ones here. We have the medicine balls. Good workout, but again, ours are the soft type. So if they drop them on their toe, if they get hit in the head, you know, whatever the case might be, there's a lot lower opportunity for injury. This is another type of instability pad. We have more bounce backs, goals. Essentially, we have every piece of equipment you could possibly imagine for soccer. We've built this place 100% for soccer. We don't do anything for other sports. And conversely, these other sports aren't doing what we're doing for soccer. They're not creating the drills for soccer. They're not buying the equipment for soccer. You'll never go into another facility, a speed reaction facility that's for football, and see a Ring of Fire. I don't think there's one outside of California, between us and here in Illinois, in LA, that has one of these things. And it's because we're dedicated and focused 100% on soccer. If you want your soccer players to be as good as they can possibly be, there really is only one place that they should be doing their complementary training, and that's SocrLabs. And when I say complementary, again, what I'm saying is that we do not take outside training and bring it inside. What we're doing is complementary. And the analogy I like to use is a American football team where they have the punting, kicking, tackling, blocking going on out on the field. And then what they do is they go into the weight room to work on their strength and their reaction. We do the same thing. We're the complement to the field work, except we're not doing squats and deadlifts. We're doing things that make soccer players better, more agile, faster, quicker. Okay, the things that are important to soccer players, not to football players. So, SocrLabs is not a replacement for a practice. It's a complement to a practice. We work on the biomechanics, we work on all the skills so that when these kids get out onto the field, onto your practice field, they are going to be faster, they're going to be quicker, they're going to have a better touch, they're going to have a better reaction time. They are going to practice better so that when you get them into the game, they're going to play better. Now, speaking of playing, I have to go into the ring of fire because it's just so much darn fun. I can't stop doing it. It's a great workout and it's tons of fun. And that's how great soccer players are built, through repetition.